Alright, so I actually didn't forget to do a video intro at the gym. I did do one, but for some godforsaken reason, the video file is corrupt, apparently. So I figured I'd just jump on here and quickly do one now that I'm home. Actually, editing the video, I've got the video files from the training session that you're about to watch on the computer already in a new project in iMovie, and I'll just record this and obviously throw it in at the beginning. But it was a pretty decent session. It was a leg session tonight, so final session of the week, Saturday night. Seeing as I've obviously made some slight adjustments and alterations to the overall layout of the split, the training split, because prior to this week, I believe, it's the first week of the new arrangement. Prior to this week, I was doing back, rear delts, biceps, and legs all in the same session on Saturday, and that was a brutal session. Let's just say that it destroyed me. It left me pretty much completely drained and spent. So yeah, now the new layout's a little bit more tolerable. The volume is more moderate now that I'm only doing legs and not back and rear delts and biceps in addition to that. But due to the slight change in the split, it's allowed me to obviously squeeze in a little bit more work for my legs. So as of next week, I'll be introducing one other exercise into this leg session. But at the minute, it currently stands to be just 4 exercises, 3 sets of each exercise, so 12 sets in total, nothing crazy at all. There's calves, lying hamstring curls, vertical leg press, and glute extensions, weighted glute extensions, of course, in the GHR, so I can basically get a little bit more of a stretch at the bottom. And when I kind of lock out, I find I'm opposing gravity a little bit more at the lockout, so I get a better peak contraction I find in my glutes, as opposed to doing them on, say, a 45-degree hyper bench where I'm a little bit more kind of vertical. Because obviously when you're doing a GHR or using a GHR bench, when you completely extend to the hips, you're still horizontal, and so gravity is opposing directly down on you. But when you use a back extension bench or a hyper extension bench, when you fully extend and lock your glutes out when you're at hip extension, you're at like a diagonal, so you don't, gravity's still obviously pushing down on you, but not to the same degree. So I find I just get a little bit of a stronger peak contraction in my glutes, and it helps me kind of connect with them a bit more when I do it on the GHR, so that's why I do that. But yeah, it was a good session. No more Cybex leg press. And it's not because I don't want to do the movement. I do love it, but I just find, one, the vertical leg press does really hit my glute hamstring tie a little bit more, and that's what I really want to focus on in this second leg session of the week. I want to really focus and prioritize the lower posterior, so glute and hamstring development as opposed to quads. And although the Cybex leg press is fantastic, and I would argue probably the undisputed champion when it comes to all kinds of leg presses out there, I think it shits over the Arsenal leg press too, to be honest. The good old school, basically white, vintage leg press. But recently there was like a incident at the gym, let's just say that. A group of young kids, they were ego lifting and circle jerking each other off as young kids do. Well, I assume they were. And I think I actually know which group of kids it was. I kind of feel sorry for them because, I mean, they're kids, but they're also young adults and they should be more mature and more responsible. And if you act like a fool, if you act like an idiot, you're going to get the Darwin Award, unfortunately. And these kids were doing calf raises on the Cybex leg press, and their feet slipped, and the leg press, the sled just came down and smashed their knees and their legs up pretty bad, I think. That's basically the general gist of what I got from hearing through the grapevine what happened. And there was an ambulance at the gym and everything. I saw it on the story of the gym's Instagram page. So yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate. Yeah. But like I said, if you're an idiot, you're going to get what's coming for you. And that was just karma for being cocky, most likely. Like, you don't want to ego lift. If you ego lift, you're a fucking idiot, and you're probably going to suffer the consequences. So yeah, those kids are probably going to be a little bit scarred for life. And I mean, if they do return to the gym, hopefully they're a lot more sensible and a lot more, I suppose, cautious. That's probably the best way to put it. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to learn the hard way, and they definitely learnt the hard way, that's for sure. So that's pretty much it. I would like to do it, but I just don't know how clean it is because there's a lot of blood on it apparently, and I don't want to catch anything, so I'm not going to use the leg press for a good while. If I do use a leg press, like a regular leg press, I'll use the Arsenal strength leg press, which they do have at that gym, because it's still a good leg press. I just think the Cybex is a better angle. You don't have to load it up as much, so it's kind of convenient in that regard. But yeah, it is what it is. And I figured in future videos I'll talk about gear, I'll talk about my personal usage, what I'm using, what I'm doing. Because I feel like at the end of the day, transparency is important. After speaking to a friend in the gym the other day, I was speaking to Steve and he said, you've just got to be transparent with people, and that's what they want to hear. They don't really care about training, and all they want to hear about is PDs, and it's kind of true. It's sad, but it is kind of true. So yeah, I'll start talking about that in the future. But I want to put a disclaimer out there. What I do is what I do, and it's for me. Doing what I do is not going to get you a physique like mine, nor is it going to get you a physique anything close to mine. It could potentially, but it's very highly unlikely because there are a lot of other factors that go into play when it comes to developing a physique. It's not just all drugs, contrary to what a lot of people like to think. And I do use pretty conservative doses relative to what other people use or people who I compete against. So keep that in mind. And I'm not lowballing you when I tell you what I've used or what I am using. I'll be completely transparent, completely honest, and I do plan on pushing the doses in the near future because you kind of have to if you want to move from a heavyweight bodybuilder to a super heavyweight, and not just scrape into the super heavyweight category, but actually fill out a super heavyweight category, especially as a taller guy, somebody over 6 feet tall. But yeah, you don't need a lot of drugs if you're 60 or 70 kilo or like anywhere between 130 and 160 pound. If you need more than 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams a week to grow effectively, your training sucks, your diet sucks, you suck at everything. It's not the drugs, you just suck. And it's as simple as that. So yeah, I'll start talking about it in the future, but yeah, I just want to put the disclaimer out there. Don't do what I do. It's not going to get you a physique like mine. Could potentially, but again, at the same token, most likely won't. So keep that in mind. And yeah, I figured I'd just fill you on that, and I will talk about that stuff in the future. All right, enjoy the video, guys. All right, this is heavier than I usually go, but should still be all right. Full stack plus a chain plus, so at 4 45 pounders, so 180 pound plus a chain plus a full stack. Yeah, should be all right. See how it goes. Oh. 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 Oh, God. So yeah, I've still been dealing with a little bit of edema, like ankle, foot swelling. I'm trying to figure out if it's still relating to the infection, because obviously the ingrown hair issue isn't fully resolved yet, or whether it's relating to the growth hormone. because it is quite retentive, the growth hormone you're using, so a little bit of water retention from it. So once I get the ingrown hair fully resolved, if it doesn't subside, then I know it's most likely related to that. But it's like it hasn't been persistent. It was only really when I recently stopped the antibiotics as per the request of the dermatologist that the swelling started to kind of return a little bit. So it makes me think it is related to the infection, but we'll kind of see how things go. Not too sure yet, to be honest. So it could be that, but it also might not be. So we'll just see how things go. Oh, that's all good. No, that's fine. No, don't worry. Yeah, so see how things go. But I mean, if it is related to growth hormone, it would just be as simple as taking a diuretic like hydrochlorothiazide or something like that. Just a low dose of that per day to kind of manage the retentive symptoms of it. But we'll see how things go. Final set. See how this goes. I love this shirt. I love all my gasp clothing, but this is incredibly hot because it's a dense, thick material. Not ideal for Thai weather. So I want to do like a full warm-up set. I'll just do a few reps. Pump a few reps out at like 40 kilo or 90 pound. And then I'll jump to the working weight, which is 150 pound. Let's have a look what I got last week. What I'm aiming to beat. Okay. So we're looking at 70 kilo or 150 pound I got for 3 sets of 11, so that's what we're aiming to match or beat. Oh God. Two to go. Yeah, that was a struggle just to match last week, so I don't think I'll be hitting a PB on this week. I tell you what, it's really annoying looking down at your ankles and seeing water retention. It really riles me up. I think the reason it riles me up so much is the ingrown hair incident should have been resolved the moment I went to the hospital the first time. But they fucked it up. They did a dodgy job. And it's just been an absolute game of cat and mouse ever since then. Okay, ingrown hair should not be a 6-month ordeal, which it's pretty much turned into now. Been dealing with this shit for pretty much the whole time I've been here. So I'm really looking forward to having it finally resolved, hopefully soon. Yeah. Alright, time for set number 3. Now with this leg press, I did say it last time I did it, you can't really go ass to grass like you would on a regular leg press. Otherwise you just fuck your lower back up. So that first set was a little bit sub-maximal. Well, quite a bit sub-maximal actually. Good few reps in the tank. But that was deliberate. I wanted to just feel it out in the first set. But I'll go further, closer to failure on these next two. Might even slightly widen my stance depending on how it feels after the first 1 to 2 reps. Just shift it out slightly. If it feels like it's restricting my range of motion too much. But I don't want to take it too wide to the point that it actually like causes me to like strain or tear my adductor. It's about finding that Goldilocks zone, that happy medium between maximum mechanical tension, range of motion, minimal risk of injury. Because if you go too far to either extreme, you're going to compromise your safety and potentially injure yourself, or alternatively restrict your range of motion and therefore the amount of mechanical tension you can exert on the target muscle. So trying to find that happy medium, which can take a little bit of playing around, honestly. It's going to be different for everybody. What my ideal foot stance is on this, for me, could be completely different to what is ideal for you. And that depends on different hip structures, different limb lengths, all that sort of stuff. Good old anthropometry. I'll try a little bit wider straight off the bat. Okay, so final set of these. Honestly, I think the slightly narrower stance felt a little bit better, so I might play around with that again on this set instead of doing that wide stance like the last set. Oh. Okay. So that first set, the settings on this were a little bit off. Fixed it, so it should be better now. Better get a glimpse of the back of my head then. Yeah, I'm starting to lose my hair. Might have to start shaving my head. Because I'm not going to be one of those insecure as fuck guys that try to hold on to their hairline when it's just slowly dwindling away. If I lose my hair, fuck it, I'll lose my hair. Just keep my head shaved. If people don't like that, they can go fuck themselves. God.